Welcome to the SG Sports Talk channel as the Golden State Warriors get the win over the defending NBA champions, the Milwaukee Bucks, by a score of 122-109. Now, I would like to welcome Bay Area Baller 18 to the postgame show.
What's up, Shardall? What an exciting game to watch. And, anytime you can take down the reigning NBA champions, that's a plus, especially with the Warriors not playing their best brand of basketball the last few weeks. So to get back on track with a win tonight, I thought was huge.
And do you think that Klay Thompson was absolutely remarkable tonight? He had a strong performance, 38 points. Man, this guy was on fire.
He was unstoppable, pulling up from deep, getting into the mid-range. Klay Thompson was absolutely terrific, and it was great to see him get back on track because we know, the percentages, the field goal percentage and the three-point percentage, it's not where you think it would be with Klay Thompson being one of the best shooters to have ever walked on the planet. But he came out and performed well tonight. He was efficient, and it was absolutely phenomenal that he got back on track.
Is it always interesting when you look at Klay Thompson? He's always his unique self. He's back to his unique self.
Yeah, man, Klay is one of a kind. How can you not love Klay Thompson?
What do you think he brings to this team, like in terms of leadership?
The guy's a vet. Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green. These guys are the nucleus and have been, for the last 10 years. So it's just been – it was such a privilege to watch Klay get back because we're going to need him to step it up and do this in the playoffs. If we want to be a championship caliber team, we need this Klay Thompson to show up. And Steph Curry had a season low 8 points. And actually, Shardall, I like to see it because you can't rely on Steph to get 30 every single game. So the fact that Steph Curry only finished the game with 8 points, and you got guys like Andrew Wiggins, Jordan Poole. I mean, can we talk about Jordan Poole? He's been on a stretch where he's averaging over 20 points a game the last 4 games. And tonight he had the 30 points, 5 of 10 from the three-point range, 7 of 7 from the free throw line. And Jordan Poole, man, this guy just keeps getting better and better. I can't hear you, Shardall.
If you wanted to pick one nickname for Jordan Poole, what would you give him? Like, if you'd give him a really interesting nickname that would really stand out.
Baby Steph. He's Baby
Jordan.
Steph because he's not quite Steph Curry. There's only one Steph Curry, but Jordan Poole does some Steph Curry-ish kind of stuff.
So if the Warriors want to continue this winning streak and keep it going, what are some tips that you give to the team if they want to keep this winning streak alive?
I don't know what tips I can give them per se. I just want to say, hey, just keep putting in the work and make sure your energy level is at a premium because I notice when our energy dips, that's when the other team goes on an 8-0 run. They go on a 10-2 run. So keep the energy high and absolutely. But what I wanted to mention, Shardall, we had a new starting lineup for today's game. They inserted Jordan Poole into the starting lineup because he has been playing well as of late. So they went Poole, Klay Thompson, Curry, Looney, and Wiggins. And I thought that starting 5 worked really well together. And I wouldn't deviate from that. I would stick to that starting unit. Actually, you know what, Shardall? Draymond's coming back on Monday. So we probably won't see that starting lineup again, as long as Draymond's feeling good. Because when Draymond's right, he's obviously a starter.
Because the thing that makes Klay and Steph so unbeatable is that when they get hot, you can't stop them, man. when they get in a routine and they're just in their mojo and you can't get them off that streak, or when they're in their when their momentum is going, they're just unstoppable, man. That's what makes them the two of the most deadliest 3-point shooters.
I mean, that's why they are the greatest backcourt in the history of basketball. I'm putting them up above Joe Dumars and Isaiah Thomas. I got Stephen Klay right up there, number one on my combo guard all-time list.
And if you had your top 5 greatest Warriors of all time, who would be your top 5?
Okay, all right. So I'm going Steph Curry 1. Okay, I'm going Klay Thompson 2. All right, and this is for me because I know, if you're gonna go way back into the 70s, the 80s, there's some players that some of the older folks would be more familiar with than myself. I'm going Rick Barry 3. Rick Barry was my dad's favorite player, and he was the star player when the Warriors won the championship in 1985. So I'm putting Rick Barry in there. And I'm a big Kevin Durant guy, Shardall. Even though he left us, I still appreciate what he did for us. So I would have Kevin Durant at 4, and then rounding out in the 5th spot, I'm going Draymond Green. What do you think about my top 5?
They're pretty good. You got a nice mixture of different players in your top 5.
And anyone? So who would you add in there that maybe I left out?
Andre Iguodala.
Yeah, Andre, man. Yeah, I feel you on that. He helped turn this organization around. He came, and then Steph came, and these guys got going. Or Steph was here first, and then Andre came. But still, we weren't a winning franchise before Andre got here.
The reason why why also like Rick Barry is one of my favorite Warriors of all time, just because the way he shoots the free throw. He's just like Jackie Moon in semi-pro. How the underneath the legs, weird way he shoots a free throw.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Rick Barry shoots his free throw like that.
And Rick Barry was a phenomenal free throw shooter, and he's actually advocated and said, "Hey, NBA free throw shooters who aren't very good, I will show you how to shoot granny style, and I bet you can improve your free throw percentage." Hey, but Shardall, why don't we hit on home runs comment? I wonder if you can pull it up on the screen there. He didn't see the game, but why did Curry only shoot 7 times? And home run, what I'll tell you is the Bucks were putting a lot of pressure on Curry. They were trapping him. They were face guarding him. So it actually opened up things for some of the other players on the team, like Klay Thompson. Klay was getting a lot of good looks, and he was capitalizing. He was 15 of 14 from the field, and Klay was 8 of 14 from the three-point line. He finished with 38 points, had the 5 assists, 6 rebounds. So Klay was big time, but a lot of it was because Steph was getting a bunch of attention. Wiggins had 21 points. Jordan Poole went off for 30. So it's like we didn't need him to force it, home run. That was just how the game played out.
Another milestone that Steph Curry reached this season was that he reached 20,000 career points.
That's big time.
When he hit that 3-pointer against Denver.
Yeah, he did. I saw that. I mean, Curry's amazing. We love Curry.
But do you think so on March 14th, on Steph Curry's birthday, how many points do you think Steph Curry's going to drop, and how many threes do you think he's going to make?
Who we playing?
We're playing the Washington Wizards at Chase Center.
Ooh, against the Wizards? Oh, I'm thinking he drops that's his, what'd you say, it's his birthday?
Yeah, he's turning 33, I believe. I believe he's 32 right now.
Wow. Okay,
he's turning 33.
I'm saying he's going for 50. He's going 50 piece on Monday. How about you? What do you think?
I think he's going for. I'm going for a really outrageous number. I'm going for 65.
65. That'd be amazing to watch. He would have to be literally on fire like the whole game, which I would never rule it out for Steph Curry. You know what I mean?
But Home Run says I seen Poole had a big game too. What are your thoughts of Jordan Poole's game?
Jordan Poole just keeps getting better and better. In the last couple weeks, he's really turned it up a notch when we've needed him to. And he's a guy that I think is going to have a really bright future, but not even the future. Let's talk about the now, because Jordan Poole, man, this guy, he should be getting some consideration for Sixth Man of the Year. Again, he started today, which I liked, but normally he's been coming off the bench, and I'd give him some Sixth Man consideration. Am I biased because I'm a Warriors fan? Yes, but I really like Jordan Poole. He's really shifty. He's got the handle. The jumper, it's silky smooth, and it's been going in a lot more lately. When I was looking at his three-point field goal percentage, this was like last month, it was around like 33, 34%. And I'm like, man, Jordan Poole's a better shooter than that. I think he can get that up closer to 40. And he's even surpassed that as of the last couple weeks.
If Jordan Poole wasn't playing basketball, what other sport would he sport would he like to play?
I bet you he'd be a really good wide receiver because he's 6'3", so that's a good sized wide receiver, and he's quick, he's got good speed, and he's got great cuts. So if Jordan Poole were to play another sport, I'm putting him at wide receiver.
So what do you think the Warriors are going to end the season with? What is their record going to be by the end of the season?
Record's hard to project, but what I will tell you is I'm eyeing that. I want the second seed. I know we're right there with, I believe it's Memphis, kind of battling for that second, third seed. I don't want to fall any lower than 3. That's like my target goal for the Western Conference standings, playoff standings. I don't want to be any lower than 3rd.
What's that jersey that you got on?
Thank you for asking, Shardall, because I'm really proud of this one. It's my boy, James Wiseman. And James Wiseman is back, baby. He just played in the G League. And Shardall, I cut up all of James Wiseman's highlights. He scored 18 points, 6 rebounds, and I cut it up and put it on my channel. So if anyone wants to see how James Wiseman did in his debut, 11 months he was injured and not playing basketball. But he's back. And like I said, I cut up all his highlights, what he did well, what he needs to improve on, because he was a little rusty since he hasn't played in so long. And it's on my channel, Bay Area Baller 18. Go ahead and check that out after this video.
So Don Suave says Suns are scary.
I mean, the Suns are scary. Chris Paul, I know he's a little dinged up, but he'll be back by the playoffs. And really, that's what it comes down to, Shardall. Who's going to be the healthiest and playing the best brand of basketball come playoff time? Because Klay, right, we were saying Klay before this game, because he went off, he was on fire. He was slumping a little bit from the Klay Thompson that we have grown and known to love, right? And here's what I've been telling my buddies. I'm like, hey, man, as long as we get Klay back to his premier status by playoffs, and Draymond's back and his knee are feeling right, then I think we got a legitimate shot at a championship.
If Klay Thompson was a Marvel character, he will be Thanos. Where he needs all the diamonds to be really strong and unbeatable.
But Thanos is a bad guy, Shardall. Klay's like the nicest guy. I think Klay's more of like a Captain America, because he's got the shield, and Klay's kind of like the shield. He's like Steph Curry's shield in a way. You know what I mean? He's drawn some of the attention off from Steph, and he's a great defender, so he's got the shield. That's where I'm going.
So Don Suave says Brooklyn should come out of the East. They destroyed Philly. Greek Freak ain't doing nothing this year.
Man, I got to see Ben Simmons. I haven't seen him. I don't know what he's going to do. They're going to need something from Ben Simmons, and they don't have much time. What do they got? 20 games to make this thing mesh? And let me tell you, I had Durant in my top 5 Warriors of all time, and some Warriors fans will tell you that's ludicrous. He wasn't here long enough to earn that status, but I'm a big Durant fan, dating back to even before he became a Warrior. But the fact that Durant left us and he's my boy for Brooklyn, I'm not rooting for Brooklyn. I do not want Brooklyn to even make it to the finals. You know, I would probably rather have Philly. Give me Embiid and Harden. That's just who I would be pulling for. And I'm not a Kyrie guy. I'm not a Kyrie guy.
Like Kevin Durant left for Brooklyn. It didn't make sense in the beginning when I thought about it. I said like, why is he going to another team? But like, players go to another team because they wanna win a championship. Like they wanna go to a team where they can make things happen. Because he thought that when he comes to Brooklyn, he thought that he could.
What it was about though, Shardal. I'm sorry to cut you off. I don't think that's what it was about because we had already got him his first 2 championship rings, and then the third year he had the calf injury that turned into the torn Achilles. So was it really about winning championships? When the hell has Brooklyn won a championship? Right? Go ahead.
It's not about championships. It's basically like players basically go to a new team because if they stay with their old team and nothing is going right, they're not able to make anything kind of click. They have to go to another team because they think that one team that they're on, they're not able to be successful on that one team, so they want to go to another team, hoping that they can make some magic happen on that team.
I hear you. Honestly, what I think it was, Shardal, is that Steph Curry, like he realized he would never surpass Steph Curry in the Warriors rankings because Steph Curry, that's just our homegrown guy. We've watched him grow up. We drafted him out of Davidson, and we've seen the evolution of Steph Curry, and we've been there the whole time. And I think Durant kind of realized, like, man, these guys chant MVP for Steph Curry every time he goes to the free throw line. Like, they'll never love me like that. And I think he was a little bit envious of Curry. That's just kind of I don't have anything to really base that off. Just kind of my gut.
Because the reason why KD couldn't compete with Steph Curry is that Steph Curry is a one-man show, and KD was always getting a little upset that people are comparing me that I'm not the best, and Steph Curry is way better than me. So that's why KD left because he,
that. Everyone knows KD's one of the greatest scorers of all time. But I think he wanted some extra attention.
So Don Suarez says, if Green didn't call him a B on national television.
Yeah, I didn't like that from Draymond. Although I will say, so what was the lead up to Draymond Green, and that confrontation that happened on the court, right? It was like the game was on the line. What I believe was like the last 10 seconds are ticking off the clock. And Draymond is bringing the ball up, and he doesn't pass it to Durant. Like, we need to score. You pass the ball to Durant. Like, Draymond, that's not your expertise. Like, you're not a scorer. We need a bucket in crunch time. That's like you get the ball to KD, get it to Steph, and KD wanted the ball. He was right there saying, let me get that. And Draymond refused to pass it to him, and I believe a turnover ensued. And Durant was pissed off about it. So Durant let him know, hey, next time, get me the rock. That's some bullshit. And Draymond didn't like that and started chirping, and then that happened. And really the whole relationship with Durant and Draymond and the team and even Bob Myers and Steve Kerr, because they had to then suspend Draymond, like that whole kind of threw the chemistry out of whack.
Because when you look at two players who know each other and played with each other for a long time in this league, and then when you have such a confrontation and outburst like what that happened on the court with Draymond Green and Kevin Durant. It's like those things should not happen because they're teammates, man. I mean, teammates need to get along. You can't be having things like that happen on the court. It's like it's unacceptable. Like I understand that players don't get along with each other, and they can sometimes have some toxic relationships, But do you agree that can happen in an NBA game where players just don't get along and there's some swear words being exchanged between both of them?
There when you're playing in the NBA, 82 games, it's a long season. You're around these guys for, 8 months out of the year. So, there's everyone's got an ego, and sometimes these egos clash. But you know what? I want to move off of the history of the KD Draymond, and let's get back to this team because there's a couple players I want to talk about, and starting off with Jonathan Kaminga, right? He had an electric dunk tonight that really sparked a run for the Warriors. Percentage-wise, he was 6 of 16 from the field. That's not ideal, but he did have 5 offensive rebounds and 6 defensive rebounds, so he got the double-double, finished with 11 rebounds and 14 points. Jonathan Kaminga, I think he's going to be a star. He's another guy that, like Jordan Poole, is just going to keep getting better and better.
So we have a question from Home Run. He says, let's get to the real topic. Is Jimmy going to get cut or traded?
So Shardal, I've had the unpopular opinion that I think Jimmy Garoppolo doesn't have any trade value. I've kind of been pounding the table for that for like the last year, and that's just because he's mediocre and injury prone and expensive. But looking at it, some of these teams do have a lot of cap money. I'm looking at the Indianapolis Colts. They got like $70 million in cap space. So when you got that kind of money and you need a quarterback, they could justify trading for Jimmy Garoppolo. And the trade has to get done by Monday. I mean, Monday is the legal tampering period. You can start talking to players. And then Wednesday, you can officially start signing players. So something needs to happen by Monday, Wednesday at the absolute latest. But I'm expecting tomorrow some news to break either way. And like I said, if we can't trade him by Wednesday, then we got to cut him.
Okay, we have another question from Don Suave. He said Draymond also wanted to fight Steve Kerr from what I heard.
Yeah, Draymond runs hot. I've heard that. I don't know if he wanted to fight him, but he's definitely used some expletives and directed them at Steve Kerr.
So there's another question that's coming from Don Suave. He says, Kaminga is the truth. Hope he gets more points.
Well, PT, I think he's referring to playing time. But I see where you got points from. And Kaminga is the truth. But when the playoffs roll around, right, that's where sometimes some of the rookies can get their roles reduced because a lot of the star and rotation players see a minutes increase. So it'll be something to watch. I'm sure if he's playing well, if he gets off to a good start in a playoff game, Kerr's going to ride him. But if the one thing with Kaminga, and again, I think he's going to be a star, but there's a couple things I want him to work on. And one of them is finishing with the left because he's flying towards that rim at a high speed. And I just want him to get a little bit more in control and finish with his offhand a little bit better. And the other thing is protecting the ball when he's driving. Sometimes he can expose it and the defense will slap it out of his hands and it ends up being a turnover. So hold that ball firm, protect it from getting stolen or blocked, and then just work on finishing around the rim. And he's going to get there. The kid's 19 years old. So bright future ahead for him. No situation where Jimmy stays. We need the money. We're over the cap. We're like $8 million over the salary cap right now. And we need to free up some of that cash so we can re-sign a few players. Maybe we can go out and get a free agent. We need a corner. So I don't see any way Jimmy Garoppolo stays. He's already posting stuff about, you know, a new jean commercial. It's like Levi's is the sponsor for the 49ers, and he wasn't promoting Levi's jeans on his Instagram, man. He knows he's about to be out of here.
So another question is that people are saying that Bobby Wagner wants to get assigned to the 49ers and play with Fred Warner.
That is a hot rumor, and you could never say no to Bobby Wagner. This guy, he's a future Hall of Famer, and if we somehow did get Bobby Wagner, it would be reminiscent of the days where we had Patrick Willis and Navarro Bowman. Uh, so it'd be a tremendous linebacker tandem. But to be honest, Shardall, I don't think it's going to happen. As I alluded to, we don't have that much money to spend on super expensive players. So while I would love it, I don't expect it. And I like Aziz Al-Shaair. I'm a big Aziz Al-Shaair guy. I think Greenlaw's a solid third linebacker. So I don't think we desperately need to, and we might be able to allocate that money better elsewhere. Hey, I think you should ban that spamming account, Shardall. I mean, I think if you can click it, maybe you can block them or time them out or something. If Tart catches that interception with the Rams, do we go on and win the Super Bowl? Man, Don, you're coming with the hard hitters. I mean, the offense wasn't moving the ball well at that point, so if he does catch that ball, isn't any guarantee we get points, from that. Well, because that interception would have happened around like the 50-yard line, we would have needed some yards.
Hey, Baller.
What's up?
Thanks for letting me let Spammer. I blocked him.
Hey, good stuff. It's like sometimes you got to keep your eyes out, man, because some of these folks can start talking wild in the chat or start spamming. Yeah, so that was a good job on your part.
Cause on my channel I don't want to have any trolls or any spammers on my channel because I don't know what stuff they might be saying on my channel. They might be saying some really crazy stuff.
I know, no kidding, man. The chat gets wild.
So it's my job to.
Yeah. No, you're doing great. What about because we only got a few more minutes before we wrap up, right, Shardall? So why don't we hit on some of these comments?
So should we trade?
What do you think? Would you trade Greenlaw?
I don't know. Maybe if he doesn't put some strong numbers out there, then we might think of trading him.
You're right. I mean, he had an injury-plagued season. So if a team, but it feels like his trade value might be low coming off this injury-plagued season. Really, I think if the Niners were to trade someone, it would be my boy Aziz Al-Shaair. Although he's a restricted free agent, so maybe not. I don't know, man. Although I'm a big Aziz Al-Shaair guy, I want him back. But if a team pays him $8 million a year to be their starting lead dog linebacker, I don't think we can match it because that's how restricted free agency works. Other teams can sign our guy, and we have the right to match whatever they offer. So they offer $8 million. We could say, oh yeah, we're keeping Aziz at $8 million. Or they might say, hey, you know what, $8 million is a little too steep. We don't got enough equity. We got to let him go.
He's saying baseball is coming up. Wondering if you guys watch baseball.
I do. I'm a San Francisco Giants fan. Hey, home run. Make sure you check out. Well, first of all, make sure you're subscribed to Shardall's channel, and then come on over to Bay Area Baller 18 because I'm talking baseball, football, basketball, and the San Francisco Giants just signed left-handed pitcher Carlos Rodon. And Shardall, let me tell you about Rodon. This guy's throwing 97 miles an hour, and he's got a wicked slider. Now, he's had some arm issues. With pitchers, that's the thing. You got to keep your arm feeling fresh and right because, I mean, you're a pitcher. You're throwing a baseball all night. And so he's had some arm issues in the past, but when his arm is feeling good, Carlos Rodon, this guy's nasty.
Should we go for J.C. Jackson, like Grant Cohn says.
You know, J.C. Jackson's a hell of a player, and I feel like maybe I'm being Mr. Negative, but I don't think we have the cash, Chardall. Everyone wants us to go get Bobby Wagner, go get J.C. Jackson, go get Chandler Jones. And I'm like, we're talking about the best free agents in the league. It's like the teams with a bunch of cap space are going to be paying these players more than we can offer. So I would love J.C. Jackson because we need a corner. I don't think it's feasible.
The last question by Don Suarez says, do you think Trey Lance will get us deep in the playoffs next season?
Yes.
I just want to say thanks for Home Run joining the stream. Thanks Don Suarez. Thanks Shades by Chardol. Thanks Home Run. Thanks for everybody joining the stream today. It's great that you joined the post-game show talking. We talked Golden State Warriors. We talked Giants. We talked 49ers. We talked about everything in this stream. So we just kept it not just to the Warriors, but everything.
Hey, I had a blast, Chardol. Thanks for having me on, and we'll do this again. Playoffs will be here before you know it, and I can't wait because as Warriors fans, Chardol, I want another championship. I want to be greedy. Go and get another one.
So Home Run says, peace out. Don Suarez says, good show, gents.
Thanks, Don.
Shades by Cheryl says, bye, baller.
See you, Shades.
But I'll always love having you on my channel. It's an absolute honor to have you every single time you're able to get to hop on. It's great, but let's do the Boston Celtics versus Warriors postgame show on March 16th.
We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it in the DMs. I got to check my schedule, and we're definitely going to do another one because I have a blast. And shoot, I thought this one was super successful. So thanks for having me on, Chardol, and I'm gonna see you soon.
I hope you have a great night, baller.
You too, broski.
See you later, broski.